right.
Shall we begin?
We
All
shall.
right, cool. Thanks.
What's up, everybody?
Are we recording?
Yeah, we've been recording because I just
All
didn't
right,
know
just
when we were
fucking
going.
making sure. Jesus Christ.
What's up, everybody? It's Josh and Jess from God Hates Unicorns, and we're here with another bands and artists we like.
Who aren't as good as God Hates Unicorns.
And here with us today we have
Christian. We have a Christian on our show.
yes.
Hello.
No one ever thought we'd see the day we have a Christian on our show.
We're
Thank you for
here.
being here, brother.
Oh, yes, of course. It's a pleasure. That is my name. I'm Christian Petrozza. I decided to go under that name instead of having some different sort of pseudonym. You know how people do that? Like a pen name? You know?
Yeah.
I was thinking about being Josh. Jess wouldn't work, but I
That
liked
would
it.
work.
Should I be Jess?
Yeah, I think you'd be a really great Jess.
Thank you. That's I appreciate it.
You're probably the coolest Jess I've ever met.
No. Well, look, I appreciate you having me on. It's definitely cool. I didn't really expect anyone to ever listen to my actual songs. So the fact
we
that
didn't
you
listen.
listened to
No, we did listen
good.
to them. And we're going to talk about them because we, check it out. It's on Spotify, live from level 22. We got
Studio 22, live from Studio 22.
22.
Yes.
On the Sunset Strip.
On the Sunset Strip.
Oh, that's
It's
something
close.
different.
It's close.
I'm just saying words. It's live from Studio 22. And we have Baby Bird. And then we have the other one, Cat and Mouse.
Yeah, I named them after small animals.
So what's the next animal you
Cat's
know?
large. The next one's just called human.
Oh, the worst animal of all.
The worst animal of them all, right? Yeah. No, nothing like that. Nothing so drab.
Well, tell us about the studio and tell us about your songs because they're good. They're like, it's kind of like a live kind of a thing.
Well, that's exactly it. So it's called Live from Studio 22. Studio 22 is the Back Alley Sound studio home base, which is my other project. Shout out Back Alley Sound. And so that's how we've come into contact, right? So we made a studio, and the whole point of these recordings were to not really filter it, to not spend too much time on 27,000 layers, right? To just like hit record, put the mics up, do a little mixing, master the damn thing, send it. So that's what it was, live from Studio 22. The video that I posted was just the video of the takes, there was no like, I screwed up, punch me in here kind of thing. It's just the live takes, and those, sometimes are the best ones.
I agree. I think that it's like a really it's a raw feel and it kind of like feels like you're there. It doesn't feel like something that's been like worked and worked and worked. It's like this is my creation and this is me doing it. And it doesn't take well, I mean, I wasn't.
Well, but he was there.
Yeah, well, it feels like,
yes.
It's just like I'm watching somebody play music rather than just like.
And it's COVID,
Yeah.
So like, when was the last time you actually really got to enjoy that live vibe? It's definitely it's an impossible vibe to recreate. You can have like a track, which I want to do badly, of like people at the bar, like bring the nice mic out and record it and put it in the back of the song, like that kind of ambiance, like give it that feeling. Like we could literally put a Mr. Smalls recording in the back of a song, you know what I mean? But like still, there's something legitimately magical about people coming together. And with COVID, it's made me realize that that's something you take for granted every time that you're like, all right, let's leave the show early. Oh, I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like any of those sort of sentiments. Now, I hope when things open up, people are like, at least, being like, wow, I'm going to 6 shows a week. You know what I mean? Like I want to. That's my goal,
Yeah, I didn't do it before, but I'm kind of like this time around. Whenever in 2 years when it happens.
Very optimistic, but yeah, no, I was always that person. I'm like, I am going to be so tired tomorrow. I'm going to go. I am going to go, and I did. I was like, oh man, wasted a lot of time sleeping.
Well, you know what they're starting to do now, and it actually might keep. I'm hoping is earlier shows.
I want brunch shows. I want to only play brunch shows because like my bedtime,
I love it.
my pandemic bedtime is 9. Like
For
this
sure.
is already getting late. It's like almost it's like family time.
It's 6, isn't it 6?
Yeah, but I mean it's getting there.
All right, it's 6. I'm out. Hey.
Well, yeah, a lot of shows are starting at 6 now, and they get 11.
Well,
which is kind of a nice way to do it, like especially on the
11.
weekends and stuff. 6 to 11, 3
It's
bands,
true, yeah.
keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to, I wish you could just have shows all day, every day, right? That's the dream. So Smiling Moose, I remember, was doing it where they had multiple shows and they would just stack it where, like, you know, the early show, which was their possibility for kids like me who were 17 when I started playing around here, you know what I mean? Like that was like the 18 and up show. And then the late show is like the rental fee is like super affordable. You book a couple bands and then technically they have music from, like, you know, load-ins at 4 for that first band and load out for the last one's like, you could stay. It's 1, you could chill, you know what I mean? So it's just that mentality. Hopefully I'm really optimistic that like that mentality can be everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? Even if you're not a venue, like let's throw 10 hours of music together if it's, you know, sensible.
I think like I would last a week and then I'd be like, all right, that was cool. It's bedtime again.
Yeah. back to a show a month, only if I'm playing it.
Right.
No, not that bad. So what else are you working on? Releasing anything else coming up? Like you working on anything else?
Yeah, so not really. I mean, it's something that is funny because I had mentioned Back Alley Sound. That was a project that I've been in for like since I was born. And then there's another project called Paging Dr. Moon that I'm a part of since this happened mid-pandemic. And that's, you know, groups of mine that I have always associated myself. Like I said, I was gigging when I was 17. I've always associated myself as somebody that's like in the group, you know? I'm in a band, you know what I mean? And these songs were created just because I realized that a little bit and was like, I'm still in these projects and I'm going to just like throw them out real quick because, well, Baby Bird I wrote like 3 years ago. Cat and Mouse I wrote like kind of on the spot, just kind of stream of consciousness like months ago, you know? So they're both coming from super different places, actually. Different people as I was, you know what I mean? But they end up contrasting well, I think. So yeah, it's just that, you know?
Yeah, I think it is. It's a good contrast. It's a good side by side. And I like, you know, that you brought up like, you know, 3 years ago when you write something, you're not the same person anymore. Like you're really not the same person as you were a year ago, maybe even a couple months ago. And that's always interesting to like go back and like see, oh yeah, that's where I was. Here's where I am.
And that's great. And that's kind of it. It's too, because, you know, the journey is something that as being a songwriter, it's kind of funny, you know, because I really did write Baby Bird and then learned about what it was about much later. You know what I mean? Like that's something that happens a lot to me. As I'm writing a song, it might be about a person, you know? And like, that's kind of the thought that I had, was that in the band of Back Alley Sound, in the band of Paging Dr. Moon, those are my like projects that I might not do solo stuff for a while because I am going to put all my time, money, and energy into the group because I love them, you know? And so it's just something that with this, it was like, yeah, you just had to get it out, you know? And well, I sort of lost my train of thought, honestly. But you know how it is. Like it was really something that whenever I'm writing it, and I've been writing, that's kind of that was where I was going with it, right? Is I've been writing. I have thousands of notes, you know, songs, lyrics. I've played piano when I was 5, started playing guitar when I was, I don't know, in the bands, touring, like, I'm not touring, but touring the Pittsburgh gigs, you know, and trying to be a part of the Pittsburgh, like, punk scene, you know, as a kid, just getting involved in music and realizing that it's the best. And so that was kind of it, is like, I've always been writing songs, but for my projects now that I have, there's no outlet for me to just write the song, right? So there's always that push and pull of, well, like whenever you write a song with a group, there's that like checking, you know, you're always checking each other. Do you like this? Is this even good? And when it's just me in the room and playing, it's just a totally different vibe.
It can be as bad as you want. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. and what's interesting is sometimes I write the song, getting back to the original point, right? And then I realize what it's about later on, because it takes that different form. And, you know, if I would have filtered it to where I was at the time, or if I would filter it to where I was later on, you know, so I really enjoy that. I've been going back, you know, it's almost like diary, you know, some journal-esque writing. And you just go back and you're like, wow, this is from today, 4 years ago. Nice. Let's listen. Let's see what it is. And musically, some of it's better than I am now, which freaks me out a little bit. It's all right.
Too much time with Back Alley.
Well, no, that's the truth. Is I'm consistently surrounded by people that are superior musicians in my instruments. You know, like can I sing? Yes, but I'm the best singer in the room. Never. Drumming? Yes, I could drum. You know, mixing and producing. Like I'm learning to do all the things, but I'm rarely actually the best person. Piano is my instrument, right? There's so many piano players, so I know and are a part of Studio 22 and are involved in the family, and like they wipe me out. They're so talented, and I'm just so pumped that I can even ever play with them, you know, because we're good enough where you just be like, yo, take the bottom, and I'm learning because I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like it's that kind of mentality that I want to have, and just be able to work with everybody. And so I found myself being consistently like, you know, learning through just watching everyone else that's around me being super talented. Like, you know, like I keep mentioning Studio 22, Back Alley Sound, Paging Dr. Moon, all of the individuals in those bands I look up to, you know what I mean? As far as being like, damn, if only I could play the drums, you know what I mean? Like that, I'm going to try to do that. You know what I mean? And I'm a little brother, so I'm competitive, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, you know, so I'm like, all right, let's go. You know, so that's where I do give props to my whole fam, you know, the whole fam just being super talented, you know, for sure.
Well, I'm familiar with Back Alley. I'm not familiar with Paging Dr. Moon. Can you tell me more about that?
Okay, yeah. Paging Dr. Moon is Kirsten Hybrid's brainchild. She is the singer-songwriter, frontman, plays lead guitar, writes the songs, lyrics. And she was living in Brooklyn, New York, where the band is based. So technically, yeah, I'm like in a band that's in New York still, but she is now living in her hometown of Pittsburgh. She also happened to, with her band from New York, which has an album that came out, and I think it was like pretty much first week of March. And if you haven't heard it, it's called Lost My Body, and it's also on Spotify. It's super talent. And I'm not on it, but like it's cool because I get to promote an album that I didn't do shit for, you know what I mean? Like it was all done by the time I met her. Mm-hmm. And by the time she started working with Studio 22. But whenever she was in New York, her producer had laid down, like, you know what I mean? He was a multi-instrumentalist. Like he laid down keys, synths, like layers, you know what I mean? It's a produced, mastered, big, like I said, the exact opposite of my Live from Studio 22. You know what I'm saying? The exact opposite of what that goal was, right? It was his producing of playing lots of different parts. And so when it came down to it, she really didn't have a piano player. So I was just like, well, I'd do that. So now I am the piano player in Paging Dr. Moon. But once again, it's not something that I, you know, the identity there is different. It's not my creative output into the world. It's my creative output into a piano part, which is even more fun. I love that. You know what I mean? Just because it's like, well, Christian had some trauma when he was 5. Listen to that C minor over you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hear your pain, man. I hear your pain.
Yeah. So that's just where I am in my life, is just, you know, putting these songs out was something that I was excited to get everyone to know about Studio 22, for everyone to know about all my other projects. But also it's super cathartic and therapeutic, you know, to be like, musically selfish, I guess, in that way, you know what I mean? And musically closed off and just be like, all right, this is what I'm doing. So I definitely am working, you know, on my own and doing things where that creative input is only your own and no collaboration. And then like, obviously the collaboration is what I've been doing. I don't know if I'll ever be able to stop. It's kind of like what keeps me going, you know? Like if I had $1 million, it'd be cool, but like I would want to bring the fam, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If the fam can't come, I might not want the mill. You know what I mean? I'd have to think about it, right?
I'll cut ties immediately.
Exactly. There you go. The would you rather. All right. You know what I mean? That's stuff I think about, you know?
It's been fun.
Look, it's been fun. Gotta go. Just writing me a check. Where would you go, Josh? Where are you going? First place you'd go with $1 million in the bank account.
Where am I going?
Yeah. Like probably destination.
Germany. Probably Germany.
Deutschland.
Yeah.
You like going to Germany? Have you been?
No, I haven't. So like it'll be a nice experience. They seem to like us out there. Everyone seems to think I'm German when I sing. Mm-hmm. So
nice.
It's a good marriage, I guess.
I've been to Germany. Honestly, I think Munich and is the best place on the planet. So it's just weird you said that. And I definitely think that Berlin, weird enough, Berlin is a place that like legitimately reminds me of the Berg so much. Yeah. And like just weird ways. And then you take a step back and you realize that it's like huge in comparison, massive, you know what I mean? Like it's a major city with like, you know what I mean? Like so many different kinds of people everywhere and so many people everywhere. Like you couldn't possibly be like, you know what I mean? Racist in a place like Berlin. They call it multiculti. That's the term. You know what I mean?
I feel like they have.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, like yeah, but that's exactly it. Like, well, right.
Something happened around that area.
For real. The racism in here is nothing. I mean, the racism in here is definitely worse than what's going on over there in Germany. But racism is affecting us everywhere. That shit's fucked. And if you're a racist, you get the hell out. You know what I mean? So Germans believe that mantra too. You know what I mean? But it just, they have a T, for instance, like literally, you know, our T, like they have the T, like it's you walk on, it looks like the T, it feels like the T. Yeah. Thing is, it goes like 45 miles in all directions and the infrastructure is excellent and like everything makes more sense because they did get their entire city demolished during World War II. So they were able to build easy, like just from, you know, say they were smart. They don't have any geography. Our geography is totally trashed here. So our infrastructure is always going to not work.
Yeah. There's a hill. We should build something on that hill.
It's the worst. I mean, we're trying to protect ourselves from like people and like the like invasion and shit. Like what's why I built the forts here, but now it's like, can we just like all chill on the whole hill thing? Like, it's ridiculous. No wonder we got so many bridges. Like, why?
There should be a road up there. Why? Because where something should be.
Shout out some views of Pittsburgh. You know, there's really no cities that you can get some of the nice, like, because we do have just that crazy geography, you know, like you really get some good stuff, good picks, good feels. It's a great city. I never really want to not be a part of Pittsburgh. It's kind of the best place. And I've never left. Are you all from Pittsburgh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of one of those places that tends to keep people because as you travel and as you go find other places, you fall in love with them and then you just come home.
Yeah. I'm just lazy. I just don't really go anywhere. So it works out.
No, well. I get that too. I get that. I totally get that. I've been feeling that, you know, with COVID, it's definitely like easy to just kind of, I don't know, give myself the grace to like just actually do that and not feel guilty. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that taking of time. And you just like do it so that whenever we can play 6 shows a week, I'm ready to play 6 shows a week. You know what I mean? That would be the goal. But yeah, it's definitely fun. I'm excited. It's a good season of life right now. I'm hoping that everyone that is struggling with anything, or with COVID especially, or, you know, anything like that, realizes that everything ends, you know. It's all gonna end one day.
I feel like COVID's here forever now. What?
And that's the truth. Like, COVID is here forever, but like massive pandemics that put people in body bags at a massive rate is not something that
hopefully.
Like, you know,
it's hopeful that that's.
I'm hopeful too. And it's happening. I mean, there's already the big names that have toured like other, you know, multiple country tours. I feel like they are booking, and they're just doing summer of 2022. Like by then, Lollapalooza and every other big name that you've ever heard is going to be, and there's going to be 65,000 people standing arm in arm again. Like, that's not going away. You can't fight that off. I don't care how many of us you take, you'll still get a decent amount of us listening to good tunes together, you know? So rock on. We're going to win. We're going to win. You know what I mean? Yeah, cool. It's going to be good.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, shoot. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if y'all realized, but I can go.
Okay, wait, but we don't want that.
We have to cut him off.
Okay.
Let's keep talking to us.
Then you know what?
Well, ask me a good question. I'll answer truthfully and honestly.
Okay.
We're gonna. So. Oh, I thought it was glitching. Was that me glitching?
What?
Huh?
No.
Oh, I was. What?
Say a question.
A question.
We're asking.
Was that your question? So I'll answer the question. Hold on, I'll answer it.
Okay. If you had a child, okay, this is a very tough question. I don't know if you have a child. Do you have a child, Christian?
No,
I'm. He was just 17.
Okay, he was 18. Okay.
No, I'm not 18.
Okay. If you had a child, would you rather have your kid play dodgeball in traffic, or have Miles watch them?
Dodgeball in traffic or Miles watch my child?
Yes.
Unsupervised, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like with Miles, but unsupervised.
Just with Miles.
Nobody's supervising Miles.
Nobody's there with Miles.
I'm pretty good at dodgeball. I'd give it to my kid. Make it out.
Good choice. Good choice. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Shout out, Miles. Shout out, Miles.
I've never met or talked to. Nice to meet you.
Well, you should meet Miles. Miles is one of my oldest friends, and him and I have been a part of this, whatever you're calling this thing that's happening in Pittsburgh, for a while. And he's the guitar player in Back Alley Sound, who I get to fortunately make music with at least like 2 to 3 times a week. So, you know,
we actually before we started this podcast, Christian, we were just going to do like reaction videos to like bands we liked, and you guys were on one of them. And what we were doing is we were hitting the Amber Alert button every time we said, "Hey, Miles is on this." It's like I guess like our phone, like an Amber Alert was on.
Which I love, because I'm like, it's really funny for me because I don't know anything. I'm just like, oh, Miles, that Amber Alert guy.
Yeah. But like, yeah.
Well, we have a lot of love in our heart for Miles, but there has been
too long.
Yeah, there has been some knocks. There's an entire group. I won't get into it. Miles is Sam, Jordan, Shark, the whole Rob. That's the whole band. And they're not just the band, you know what I mean? The Back Alley Sound band. They are the homies too. They were legitimately, well, everyone besides Rob. Sorry, Rob. And Jordan too, I guess. But they were really all my friends first. And that's what's cool. Like, we were part of just this scene. And then really, like, because Shark's super talented at rapping, we were like, all right, we have to piece together a band of other things that's going on. And, you know, I just sort of fell into place with that 4 years ago or whatever it was. But really, it is how that happened. Is like we were all already hanging out, you know, and we still will hang out. It's the key. Friendship endures.
We're friends.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. What's going on? That's why I have sunglasses. I'm like sleeping half the time.
He's not.
I think we're
He's
friends.
not.
I mean, we've done stuff.
He's
like,
going to drop you. He said already that he's taking the million and running.
Oh my God,
he already.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, yeah. That's not a friendship test.
We're friends, but not like.
I could throw $100,000.
Not $1 million friends. What did you say?
I could throw $100,000 her way and call it a day and be happy with the 900K.
Right. That is the businessman approach.
I'd take 50. Yeah. Anyways.
$50, good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, it was great meeting you, Jess. I really appreciate y'all interviewing me. The last shout outs are, make sure you check out my 2 songs. It's live from Studio 22, Christian Petrozza. Make sure you check out at Back Alley Sound and at Paging Dr. Moon, my projects, and at Studio 22, PGH.
The links will be on this post.
They will.
The links will be on.
I'll spell the things right. I'll put the right names.
Right names will be on there, not the wrong ones.
Oh, and the last shout out is to myself, because I'm also a conflict of interest real estate agent, just bustling. So Christian Petrozza Realtor, REALTOR. That's one you can follow too. But
go buy a house.
Yeah, or buy or rent or whatever you want to do. That's what I really am focusing on. A lot of my time is that, and that's fun. That's actually really fun. And then the time that I'm not doing that, I sing into a mic like 50 times and try to layer them to make them not sound ridiculous, which is what I'm working on next. As far as it might take me a little time, but there are some a cappella style renditions, maybe some covers, maybe some God Hates Unicorns thrown in there.
Probably
and
should.
Just like, you know what I mean? Some things where instead of playing the bass, you just go they're like, you know what I mean? You can just, yeah, exactly. So you get it. Just gets it. So I'm really excited about that kind of stuff, pretending to be a bass player and not being a bass player. So therefore singing as if I am playing the bass. It's a great time. You should come on down, come on down.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, and we'll be seeing you soon in person.
Well, yeah, I'm excited about that. And if you just want to Zoom after this, you know what I mean? We'll just Zoom, you know what I mean? If you guys, I don't know if you ever did a Zoom call. You heard of Zoom?
We're literally on Zoom.
Oh, all right. Well,
this is Skype.
This is not Skype. This is my.
This is Skype. All right, give me your. Give me your. We'll do a Skype after this.
Okay, we'll do.
I feel like Skype got really shit on during the pandemic. What happened there?
They didn't get,
like Zoom. People were Zooming on the pandemic and loving it. Facebook had a lot of. Where were my Skypers at?
I don't know.
We just did a Skype interview last week.
That was, we did.
Good. Well, then good for you. Good for you. I really appreciate y'all.
I was just gonna say you didn't have the same visibility of both people.
Oh, but really? Anyway, it wasn't as good.
This is the end of the recording, and we're done.
Oh, word.
But
all right, peace.
Bye.